staying in Maruga. This lady real lucky, she bumps up with sweet me. As a man with a plan, well, I really didn't waste no time. I make up my mind tonight, this Brazilian is mine. As the music played, Lord, she started to sing to the soca beat. She would a samba swing. Then she started tremble, she give me goose pimple. Soca in she samba, samba in she soca. I just take off my shirt for so show she me Trini prance. The woman just put on a smile as she danced, she samba dance. She had me in heaven, she had your boy in hell. What that woman do to me, I just couldn't tell. All I know is she ring me bell with this. Bim 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 baby bamba, riki diki bing baby diki bang, bim 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 baby bamba, bim 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 baby bim 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 baby, bim 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 baby, bim 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 baby bamba, baby diki bang diki diki bang, bim 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 baby bamba, diki bamba bim baby bamba bang, bim 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 baby bamba, riki diki bing bamba, bim bam baby, bim bim baby bang baby, bim bim She said, darling, no, my darling is not so. You see, Trinidad and Brazil, we have the same vibration. Elate, she makes me to understand. Then the Trini people take it to the street. From Sando to Para to Beer, chanting to the beat. The whole that comes in.
Right now, what I am doing is sharing the video on all of my threads and all of my groups and all of my pages and my WhatsApp broadcast lists. So while the beautiful song of David's song being sung by David Rhoda is playing, you can do the same. Let's get everybody inside and have a nice conversation tonight.
Listening to a prayer meeting, Baptist people preaching, with a leader in front, happy people shaking. So I tell my partner, why don't we get closer? Because I tell myself I'm hearing soca. Though it was something to be spiritual, to me it was more like bacana. Oh Lord, come and dance. just take all the time. If you see that this woman wine, oh, I'm singing, whoa, like soca Baptist, 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 whoa. Yeah, yeah.
And that's how long it takes me to share. Believe it or not. All the pages and all the groups that I am a member of, that's how long it takes me to share, and to share on all of my WhatsApp groups. And it's important to share it because that's how the UNC and the PNM, when they have, well, not only the PNM, but the UNC and them, they have this crew of people whose job it is to just share things like mad. So people will have no choice but to stumble in and see. So we can do the same. We catch up with that. Yeah? How much things to talk about tonight? And use more than words. More than words. More than words. Why would you name a show More Than Words? Last night, I was interviewed by a lovely lady named Mama Coco, Cora Panten. Beautiful soul. And I enjoyed, actually I forgot to share the YouTube. I enjoyed that interview immensely because it challenged me. Cora called me early that day to ask me where to send the questions. I said, I don't ever let anybody send the questions. I like to be caught off balance because every interview is an opportunity to get better. Get better at what? I don't want to be a professional politician. It doesn't matter to me if I'm in politics or not. But anything that I'm doing, I try to do my best. If I make pasta and meat sauce for you, I want you to tell me, Jesus, Harold, Christ, that is the best pasta and meat sauce I have ever eaten in my life. Because that's who I am. That's who I am. Satish, you're going to have to send me that as a Facebook message, not as a WhatsApp, and I will get it done. Satish is the head of Pep Media, and he and his crew are in the background always making sure that the thing's supposed to do as the thing's supposed to do. What I was just talking about, me and my pasta and meat sauce are really good with that. Make some tonight. If you eat that, you bite your finger. So, I had no idea what the show is going to be about, what she's going to ask me about. I just know she's a darling lady. And I tell her don't hold back, don't pull no punches. Because in the real world, they don't pull punches. And I don't ever want to stunt. I don't ever want to come across as a politician. Trinidad has never, at no time ever, had any politician that you could point to and say, that was a good man, that was a good woman. Their term in office benefited this country. Not one. Not one person. It's so bad that the PNM and the UNC tripping over themselves to escape their existing membership. It's that bad. It's so bad. UNC have Brian Stone nibbling at every other party trying to find members for UNC, offering dirty money. Dirty money. So every now and then, they will find somebody who draws hanging to the elastic by a thread, need money bad, might have a girlfriend that there for the ride and had to have money coming in. So Stone will resonate with them along the way. Along the way, the UNC has demonstrated conclusively that Kamala is a stunt artist. She's a mannequin. She's a marionette. She's a puppet. Her job is to talk slowly and read for you what her pollsters tell her might resonate with you in as close to a not country bookie accent. That's what they tell her. And they tell Rowley, smile. Those sound so arrogant. Cambridge Analytica and these people that they work. And it's not the first time you're going to hear those names. Hear them use Empire or Prestige or one of them. These spin doctor firms outside there, they do this for a living. They manage your persona, your appearance. They manage how you sound. They come and they say, Phillip, bullshit resonated. People using the word bullshit, carry on with bullshit. But jackass, not. So cut jackass out. As tell them, Felicia Holder and Satish Ramsaran could tell you. Because Felicia is the chairman of the party and Satish is the head of PEP Media. Now, I have an executive assistant in the party, Debbie Jaikaran. And her biggest role is nobody talks to Phillip first time alone. Very rarely will you get an opportunity to talk to me alone. Because we don't want anybody to say, Phillip promised me this or Phillip promised me that. But Felicia Holder and Satish Ramsaran could tell you people have come from all over the world, all over the world, to PEP's headquarters, the Progressive Empowerment Party's headquarters at 19 Stanmore Avenue, to sit down on the big table and show us their skill sets in how they manipulate and target for outcomes, measurables, metrics, nice words. And they identify demographics and slipstream poll data and tool your messaging to tell you what to wear and how to say what you say. And that is why both Kamala Persad-Bissessar and Keith Rowley have routinely been found to have lied to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Because when they off book is when you are not scripted. Remember when that lady sat down in the parliament and talked about Rowley's mother and his father and Rowley himself and Rowley child, God Noel, mother? Remember that piece of shit? Munilal hadn't heard that to read. I don't know who gave it to Munilal, but Munilal is the chief whip. She sat there in the parliament. I was in the viewing gallery behind her and watch her read this thing. I can't remember her name right now. Watch her read this thing and I'm thinking, this can't be Rodney Charles and Vasant Bharat doing. They had to have somebody else, even more stupid than them when it comes to communications, doing this because they're not checking the numbers and they're not realizing that they've lost ground, and every time they attack Rowley, the way they're attacking Rowley, they're giving him strength. And the PNM polling people, because Syrian money bring big spin doctors down to scarf Rowley neck. PNM finances bring big spin doctors down. And they were polling everything. And they were able to tell you what punches to take. Anyway, there's a long way to come back around to tell you this. Vanilla Allen Toppin. That's who read it. She wasn't saying that off the cuff. This wasn't knowledge that she had. This wasn't the subject of information she did. You see, your 41 parliamentarians, one person in each camp does all the talking. Leader of the opposition, Prime Minister. And then they handpick, you speak next. You go in, you speak, say this. And they pass it along the table, or they would have rehearsed it the night before. You will stand up and say Jack, and you will stand up and say Jill. So when the Prime Minister reached, he could talk about how Jack and Jill went down the hill. And tie it together, and then Sabga News Network will go back and publish the structure of what went wrong in the Parliament. You ever notice how Sabga Empire is the biggest conglomerate in Trinidad and it has never done anything wrong? The Archbishop should stop doing mass in the cathedral and let A. Norman Sabga go and do the mass from now on. Because the Sabga family, according to Guardian Media and CNC3, they shit 55 flavors of Baskin Robbins. They don't do anything wrong. Not even their shit stinks. according to the media. And that's how you play the game. When Peter George Sr. said, we're small, but we have power. We have power. We are the most powerful. I've been asking, what's the most powerful? Drizzling olive oil on your kibbe? Can't be that. What is it? I'll tell you what is power in Trinidad. Control the narrative, control the government, parlay investment for a massive return. That's it. If you could put your puppets in Parliament, if you could control the media, either through your puppets in Parliament or direct ownership, you have power. That's power. Because generally, Trinbagonians have not been taught to critically think. There are times I say things and people say, this man is the brightest man in Trinidad. How come nobody ever thought about that? It's not that. Plenty of people have thought about it. Plenty. But nobody has had the balls, belly and backbone to bring it to you the way I do. And when Sabga Media, Nicholas Sabga is new there, but he's carrying on the dictates of the P&M financiers who have decided that Phillip Edward Alexander is to be blocked, because if Phillip Edward Alexander is heard, the people will rise up and they will vote convincingly to bring all of them to justice. You see, the Red House, Udicott, and the $500 million that is about to stunt in the courts, that is bordering on an illegal, obscene act. That a taxpayer-funded organization is suing taxpayers to prevent taxpayers inquiring as to what is being done with taxpayer funds. They have never been, at no time ever, no Winston Dukaran, no Carl Hudson Phillips, no A.N.R. Robinson, there has never been a political leader that has come to you with the abundance of truth that I have come to. It has caused them repeatedly to detonate people in my party, bribe, cajole, threaten. I talk about Janice Lemon Creaky all the time. Janice Lemon Creaky is a darling of mine. She's still a member of the executive of this party. She lost one job, and we believe it was connected to her being the PRO of the Progressive Empowerment Party. She got a new job in one of the offshoots of Petrotrin, and she's gagged. She cannot talk politically. And she has a son in school abroad. And she said to me, Philip, I would like to be a candidate. I would love to be your PRO, but I am gagged. I could lose my job and I wouldn't be able to pay for my son in university. And I have to understand that. I have to understand that. So when people come and go, where's Janice? Trinidad and Tobago has gagged Janice. Felicia Holder is the only person in Massey Wood Group to lose her job, and she was the highest performing person there. Don't make no mistake, our politics in this country stink. And it may have had an effect on impact on why. And that girl stayed her ground. There are people who showed up. Overnight conversions on the road to Damascus and ramped up in the party because it's an all-volunteer organization. Anthony Defoe, we welcome him with open arms. Ali G, we welcome Dilworth Prophet, come in. Suzette Lawa, come in. Because we can only take you on face value. When people get into a relationship, they don't come to the first dinner and show you the mad ways. They don't come and tell you, I'm unreliable, I'm untrustworthy, I'm going to take advantage of you all, and then I'm going to betray you. Nobody says that in the beginning. People smile. Judas betrayed Christ with a kiss. Judas betrayed Christ with a kiss. I have been kissed repeatedly. and then they leave to detonate themselves. Last night I talking to Mama Coco, Tony talking to jackass Brian Stone, that the UNC laughs at. Brian Stone is running a UNC show without UNC permission, without UNC funding, and they are laughing at him. Brian Stone works very hard at making a mess for the UNC and nobody in the party. He's called people on the phone all the time and he said, I speak to the lady today. But that's a lie. Because Kamala not so stupid. I mean, Kamala even take back Anel, but she wouldn't touch Brian Stone with a 10-foot pole. And when you call Caribbean Dry Dock and you realize that they had to fire Brian to save 60,000 US, the same way they had to fire Brian from CNMG because the entire staff rioted and wanted to walk. He was a non-executive chairman and was interfering with everything else. While I was talking to Mama Coco last night, Tony Defoe, who for 2.5 years, and we checked it, we've so far edited out 127 occurrences of Tony saying the UNC is a criminal government, a criminal organization, the same thing as the PNM, two sides of the same cancer. Tony said that last week on a show, Pep Talks in the Morning, with Felicia Holder, and last night Tony was with Brian Stone making political love on a UNC bed, not even 1 week later, and talking about UNC policies. I know Tony needs money. Tony, I have $10,000 put aside right now. If you could call me live right now and dictate UNC policies for me, the money is yours. Like the 4,000, I'll lend you to pay your father nursing home bill. And to those who tell me I can't talk about that, kiss my half-red ass. I could talk about what I want to talk about. I am a good man, and I have been a good man to Tony. And you don't leave one political party, and a week later, you're in a next political, whatever that is. And bad talking where you come from, especially if it is people that pay your father nursing home bill. That's a special kind of nasty. And Tony, you get what, life. But I do this every day. Life gives you what you deserve. Life gives you. I don't give a shirt, a pants, and a shoe about who bad talks me. I don't care. I put out in the public space a picture with Faris and Munilal and about 7 people on a stage. And I said, what about COVID-19? What about social distancing? What about masks? What about there being a public health ordinance? 2 of my friends on Facebook took umbrage. 2 women, both of them are connected to some chutney organization that had some dance. And that's what that picture was. Now, let me tell you something. Besides the 2 members of parliament, one the opposition chief whip and the other the attorney general, both lawyers, so I'm assuming both could read the public health ordinance and both know that the CMO, whatever his name is, and Terence Singh have been lamenting the coming second wave. So even though the law, like every law that Faris has drafted, was badly drafted, and they forgot to say, like in section 34, when they left out white collar crime, so Ish and Steve and Brian and Renee and Northern Construction and Maritime Insurance and the rest of whoever was in that bandit squad could have wiggled free. In this law, Faris forget to say private residence. So I called the commissioner of police and he said to me, the law is clear. I could do nothing, Mr. Alexander, because I called him to report this. I said I want them on their belly. Like the little children from Sealot, this child, this woman who is my friend on Facebook, she ain't even know about that. She ain't following local news. She think I talking about George Floyd. Lady, we put, and I said, I want them on their belly chanting. And if you didn't know, That's what the police did to the little children from Silos. They put them on their belly, they handcuffed them, and they had them chanting. So that's what I meant. For those who have difficulty reading, and those words who could read but can't understand, that's what it meant. I tried to use small words. I tried to use very little punctuation to keep it concise. And I said to the commissioner, I want them on their belly. Faris and Monilal, because they're supposed to know better. COVID-19, Terrence telling us. Terrence ringing the bell. They have a second wave coming. So how could Faris and Monilal and these 7 people on this stage be breaking the law? The commissioner said, Mr. Alexander, I can do nothing. The law only covers public places. And believe it or not, in your private residence, if you could fit all 1.4 million Trinbagonians, no social distancing, no masks, come inside there and everybody whine, they could come. And nobody can tell you nothing. Because that's not against the law. I put that info on Facebook. My 2 friends attacked me for the rest of the people on the stage. And it's a fundraiser. I don't care. I'm not business with your whole chutney bullshit and not following who you're fundraising for. Congratulations. But that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about 2 parliamentarians, 2 lawyers, 2 people who should know, don't break the law. Now that I find out that it's legal, I pull back, I retract, I say, these are the rules. You could have a fundraiser, you could charge people to come in, call it a fundraiser. No, officer, this is private residence. Whatever we doing here, you can't come in here and tell me nothing with the public health ordinance. You had to breathalyze with people when they leave in, and you had to do them kind of thing. But you can't touch them inside of here because the law is the law. And it's better for you if your niece or your cousin is Faris family or some bullshit going on with the promoters of the event. I didn't care about none of that. I said, when whoever was inside a Bayside Towers take that picture, you see, Trinidad is a nasty, nasty place, eh? And we beating up ourselves for George Floyd. But we see 9 little black cockroach children in that water bathing and we take a picture. That's what finds itself on Facebook. Now I want to know, and I really want to know, Faris, who drafted the law, what's the difference between them in salt water, in hot sun, and you and Monilal and the rest of the gang chutneying in the dew? What's the difference? How come they get arrested and you get to pose in your boy size shirt? People want to know if the shirt you're wearing, if it have men's size in that. You get to pose and stunt and sing like an ass with Monilal and play without social distancing, without mask, without respect for anything. What is the actual difference? Because there's no difference, and you make an ass of the law and you made an ass of the country, and you were unjust to those little children. And it is that slippery slope where people take advantage of their entitlement that taught that jackass he was correct to kneel on that man's neck. We lose sight that all human beings, regardless of their creed, color, or class, if the wall that's separating you from Bayside Tower and the piece of land where they're going to swim, it doesn't matter. If they're poor and they're from Cocorite and you're rich and you're in Bayside, you don't want to see them. I mean, seriously, we in Trinidad and Tobago have plenty things wrong with us, and we need to fix that shit, because it is those things that are wrong with us, this sense of entitlement. My 2 friends, I want to tell both of you young ladies, wrong is wrong, no matter if everybody doing it. Wrong is wrong if George X and Faris and Monilal and Kamla doing it. Right is right, even if nobody doing it. We have to decide the country we want, because this woman buffed me. She said, you know, it's a fundraiser for a worthy cause. So if somebody had jump your wall and stick a gun in your face and take all the money out your pocket because the child home need medicine, and that is their fundraiser for a worthy cause. Same law breaking going on. Would you have been okay? Would you have been okay? We will never level the play field that is this country until all of us respect all of us. And until, I almost channel my inner Haile Selassie, until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance than which side of the Bayside Tower wall you're on. We're not going nowhere. We're not going nowhere. This country, Trinidad and Tobago, is broken by the greed of little men. Starting with Eric Williams and Ellis Clark and coming forward, the greed of little men have broken Trinidad and Tobago. 1 million people who are Trinis live outside of Trinidad and Tobago. They don't even come back here for carnival. 50,000 people has come here for carnival, if so much. 1 million Trinis live outside and they would like to come home. But home is a shithole. Home have different law for Faris and Munilal and the little cockering black boys. And I don't like that. Home not supposed to be so. That's not home. You cannot use the parliament to write laws that give some people advantages and disadvantage others. That is wrong. More than words. We need to get to the point now where what we do as a people gives all of our people. I want Belmont RC to have the same level of teaching and commitment that the children who go to St. Andrews and Dunross gets. But the parents who go to St. Andrews and Dunross, just hear me say that, they raise both eyebrows. Some of them reach all up inside the scalp. You know how much money we just spend for them children in that school. I know. My son went St. Andrews and I know how hard the teachers work, and I know how the principal work, and I know how much money it costs. Because for some of them 1%ers who used to line up every day when I used to line up to pick up my son, for some of them 1%ers, that money does. That's what is collecting the couch when you're watching TV. That's paying St. Andrews fees. For me, that was a step ladder every term to find our money. But it is worth it. But if that could happen in St. Andrews, why can't it happen in Belmont RC? And if you could trace every single wealthy person's money in this country back to the treasury, if all of our wealthy people have made money because of the state, then what are we doing? We are disproportionately allocating the funding of this country to the disadvantage of some and the advantage of others, and that should never be what we are. We must be a country built on love, on unity, on inclusion. Here, every creed and race finds an equal place. So that means the General Hospital must give the same kind of service St. Clair and West Shore given. That means Belmont RC and Piccadilly must have the same level. And people just tell me they have things beyond the lighthouse. I know, but I'm not from beyond the lighthouse. And I call it things from town that some of y'all from beyond the lighthouse don't know about. So let me work together. Send me the list of the names beyond the lighthouse. I call them too. I call them too. What I want, what we should all want, is a Trinidad and Tobago where all of the words that we say when we sing that anthem are true. Madam President, I have heard that you watch my live videos. And I know that you take our national anthem very seriously. I want to tell you something. All the words are a lie. And until we the people, and until you use your good office to insist that we make those words true, we will continue to live a lie. So last night, Mama Coco tried to Obama me again. Dilworth Braffett was the first man who tried that shit with me. And he find himself out of the party. Now he Obama in little Nikolai, Nikosi, whatever his name is, whose father gets shot dead by police after breaking out of jail. I tell people all the time, stand up. Stand up in the yard where you see, what they say, bloom where you're planted, stand up there. Nikosi was a senator. He should be talking about the injustice of our penal system and our justice system. He was in the Senate. Now he's trying to get in the parliament and he have a little back in. He should be using it when the media stick a mic in the face, say, my father get shot dead in the street like a dog. Like a dog. Because he break out of jail. Because jail not nice to trim big onions. That people go in jail and they lost them in there and they have no idea how they could come back out. And the system not working. They go see you support Nikolai, whatever, they're messaging me. This is your platform, bro. This is your soapbox. This is yours. I would respect you. Even though you do all this shit naming your party Progressive Party. Knowing that they have a Progressive Empowerment Party, you and Dilwood playing the ass. But whoever detonate all you and whoever funding all you and give all the money to do that shit to me, you're still losing. Because you're still walking through Trinidad and Tobago, calling yourself a party. And I found out you need to have at least 3 people in the party to be a party. Right now, you and Dilwood are a couple. That's what y'all are. Y'all are a couple. Celebrate that. When somebody else join your party, let me know. We got 12,000 new members in the Progressive Empowerment Party since the lockdown starts. We ain't playing, partner. This is a big people party. This is a big people party. And we, the Progressive Empowerment Party, we come out here for shits and giggles. We are here, and I tried to explain to Mama Coco, like I tried to explain ad nauseum to Dilwood. You will never get Obama out of me. I am a different person. I am Phillip Edward Alexander. People talk about Martin Luther King didn't riot, he didn't loot, and that's true. But without all the people who did make noise, you wouldn't know Martin Luther King's name today. Gandhi's struggle was on top of 50 million Indians. Gandhi's struggle was brought to you by the deaths of millions of Indian people who suffered atrocity after atrocity at the hands of the British Empire. Who are the winners of looting? The Queen of England lectured the Third World the other day sitting on a freaking gold piano, solid gold. Where in the whole of England have a gold mine? Where? The crown she's put on her head is looted from India, Pakistan, and the African colonies. Every museum in the world, museum is Latin for where we display our looted shit. Understand that? Where we display our looted shit is what museum means. So while it's easy to talk about people who in their anger and misguided, because looting is not a solution. And I have the conundrum of knowing that it is their noise and their violence that has scared people shitless. Did you think that 2020 was going to destroy the global economy? Did you think that in 2020, 40 American cities would be on fire and 20 states have curfew? Did you think that? This is the time of real change. Plenty things are yet to happen that are coming down the line. There is a settling, a resettling taking place right now in the world. And it should resettle in Trinidad. I had to ask Fuad Abubakar, who created a party. I thought it was the political arm of the Jamaat, called the New National Vision. I had to ask him, is your new national vision to join the PNM? How stupid can you be? How stupid. Somebody made a joke and said, why doesn't he go and join the NAR? Let's come full circle. Your dancing partners, who your father tried to kill. Oh, we're not talking about that anymore. We're pretending that the Jamaat al-Muslimin, because I hear you come from good folks, we're pretending that we didn't shoot a sentry dead in the street in broad daylight and blow up police headquarters so you could get back peace and land. We're going to pretend it was about Gene Miles and Tesoro and all that shit. And it's not my concern. This is not my issue. This PNM and UNC issue. But Kamala dare not say anything. Because all you're talking, horse trading votes. We reached to the point where the Jamaat al-Muslimin is twisting the PNM arm with votes. Look where we reach in our politics. Imagine if Timothy McVeigh had blown up what he blew up in America, in Trinidad. He'd be Senate. He might be president. They execute his ass. Due process. If Bernie Madoff or Arthur Sanderson or whatever his name is had committed their crimes in Trinidad, both of them get bailout and government money and hand back your company. Right now, we operated Clico for 20 years. And they're saying the profits that we earned has paid back the bailout. What are you telling me? The people of Trinidad and Tobago invested $20 billion in a company. The return on investment have nothing to do with the initial investment. Because if that money was sitting down in Citibank somewhere in a country where they actually pay interest on depositors' funds, by now, it would have doubled. By now, the 20 billion that the PNM operatives and the UNC operatives from Clico, because you know we had treasurer and all kind of director up inside them two corrupt parties. Somebody said 12,000 is not enough. I said 12,000 since March. We had to create a whole new membership team. This is a big party. Even if Loop, who being paid money from the government through Digicel, try to ignore us, no problem. Even though NACTA, polling people, and they saying, boss, you didn't ask me the important question, you know. NACTA giving you choices like this. Between the PNM and the UNC, which one you're voting for? None. But if you had to choose, none. Come now, man, if you was on fire, if somebody had a gun in your face and tell you, pick one. Well, all right, a gun in my face? It had a bullet in the chamber? It take that for people to choose and NACTA say, well, 17% said this one and 21% said that. Bullshit. If NACTA had said, Phillip Edward Alexander, Keith Rowley, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, who you trust around the country? Boom. That's a poll. Because none of the other names you polled matter. Michaela don't matter. Michaela Pandey is irrelevant now. She's irrelevant to everything. Her last play was to meet with COP and Fuad Abubakar, Nikosi and all them and try and get all of them to come and join with her to make her patriotic front look like something. But nobody was interested. And nobody's joined her party. But she's going to fight 41 seats. For who? To fool who? She's irrelevant. Loop talking about Michaela candidates. The Progressive Empowerment Party that this week had its 15th barrel sale. The Progressive Empowerment Party that has had pep markets. The Progressive Empowerment Party that has chapters with active memberships. More members in our Toronto chapter than the Patriotic Front and Nikosi Party combined. But you wouldn't talk about PEP. The Progressive Empowerment Party have more people in its New York chapter than all them small party combined, and you wouldn't call PEP name because it will choke you. But they say, night does run till day catch it. And as long as we have volunteers to sit in those polling stations, come elections 2020, the Progressive Empowerment Party will be speaking for 41 candidates. And the outcome may choke you. Tell you now, all media houses that been propped up by government advertising, useless, wasteful, overpriced advertising, done. All done. All pot, stand up on your own bottom. Guardian Media, TV6 and Guardian Media, and the McAnany Allstans group of companies. In a real country, antitrust law would have prevented Sabga from owning the whole construction industry. Abel could have never buy the next one. What was the next? Tap. Could have never happened. Because immediately you put the consumer at a disadvantage for quality, for price, and for service. Competition drives quality, price, service. Antitrust legislation, anti-monopoly legislation. And in a real country, the antitrust legislation that we have duly debated, that is sitting down in the parliament 12 years now, Kamala would have taken that too in the dead of night when she went to pass Section 34. When she went to wake up the president and say, hey, come and proclaim this, because we need it urgently. She'd have bring the antitrust legislation too. But she didn't. A Progressive Empowerment Party government will open the market, open it, and invite others. Do what we can to fund and finance and help others step up and stand up. Make financing available for the other small companies in Trinidad and Tobago that can't figure out how some have a never-ending stream of ready cash. To open 2 restaurants today, close them down tomorrow, open 3 more next week, that time we'll close them down and build. This is a roaring success. The 5 restaurants that were standing there before, you don't have to count them lost. Write that off. To what? To what? The average real businessman writes it off to debt. Each restaurant cost me $1 million, so I'm on my 5th restaurant, I have $5 million in the hole. You write it off. Write it the frig off, because money flowing. We will make sure money flows for others too. The reason the economy is shit in Trinidad and Tobago is that the average person has nowhere to turn to for help. The banks have removed credit from the system. You could go to a bank and say, I have $1 million that I put in on fixed deposit. I have a next $1 million, I leave it in my bank account, and this third $1 million, I put it in a safety deposit box and I'm giving you the key. I'd like to borrow $1 million. You say, well, what is the purpose of this $1 million that you're borrowing? We need to make sure that it's safe. I hear $3 million in security. Ask the banks. Ask the banks to show their books. How many people apply for loans? How many people get turned away? Because the banks in Trinidad and Tobago are engaged in money warehousing. They no longer have to engage in credit to survive. They're literally charging you to hold your money, and they get the P&M to change your $100 bill urgently, because Abodi, Baji, and Baba had some money put aside. And a pastor, don't forget we get some money with $10 and $5 in a hole, in an envelope, in a pillow, in a block, and under the ground, in a switching bottle, and all kind of shit talk. The media gear. But we're doing it for the white collar crime. We're stopping drug trafficking. Where? How? Where's the audit? Where's the report? Who did you account to? Nobody. The same media that talk about Bodi, Baji, and Baba, they may have a question to ask you. They forget about that. Because Eric Williams said, and so shall it be, we are 9-day people. So 9 days after something takes place in the country, even though they terrorize you and your mommy and your tanty because they teach me how to line up outside bank for them $100, you know. So we knew what we were doing when COVID-19 came. We were seasoned. They just put me through that with $100. Remember? Oh, you forget? Your popcorn eating stuff? You eating popcorn? Heifer? You're making 4 more fake profiles to come and attack me on Facebook? Heifer? So you can hide how all they're making money. This popcorn. Politics is popcorn. Bullshit the people. Lie to them. Get them Mervyn Dillon. Oh, he's a bowler. Get them Mervyn Dillon. Get them JW. Get them Gypsy. Who else come in? Who else? Trapeze artists, jugglers, circus performers. Who else? Camera taking anybody. Dano Suku, Dano, come on, man. You was on my show twice. I want to tell you something. Have some self-respect. If you are going to make yourself available to serve as a member of parliament and you're screening in political parties, step down from the agricultural society so people could respect you. Pick something and stand for it. You have a lot of capacity. And what you're doing now, that's it. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that you went to screen for the PNN that destroyed agriculture in Trinidad and Tobago. But not everybody have the capacity to give themselves wholly to a struggle that have a big return. The big return for Trinidad and Tobago is all of us together, getting to a place where we should be. Our 22 billion GDP that underrepresents the 120,000 TT dollars each of us worth a year. That's what we worth. 120,000 TT dollars, $10,000 a month. That's what we worth. According to our GDP, $10,000 a month. Our GDP supposed to be anywhere around 4, 5, 600 billion US dollars a year, but we are 22. But call his Dwayne donkey ass in parliament will stand up and stunt for you and give all kind of twisty face, poly gargoyle face for you, give all kind of shit up. We outside, we inside, kick shit, bullshit. And you're taking Guardian Media, what you say, kick shit, bullshit, and you write it down. Popcorn, we need more. The popcorn running out. Popcorn running out, you're taking shit. And you're going early. Guardian, your papers, give me one. I need to see. I saw the shit on the Parliament channel, you know, but I need to see the shit in print. That's where we live. That's where we live. I had to terrorize the truth out of Terrence the Alsing and whatever the CMO name is. I don't even want to call his name. His 15 minutes over. Go away. You are a joke to your profession. You political puppet. Tell the people the truth. Where the second wave supposed to come from, Terrence, if we lock down 2 months now and the airports closed? Where? Say it. 1.4 million people just say it, mommy. And you know why they said it? Because they say love Phillip or hate Phillip. That is the truth. We can't have COVID-19 sealed up in solo bottle, ready to let go. It's a living organism. It takes a certain amount of time to gestate, incubate, infect, or die. It's outside, they hide and playing hide and seek 6 o'clock in the evening. When the groceries close, COVID-19 is come out, ta-da! But until 6, once it's a George X promotion inside somebody private resident, 15,000 people could be inside. No mask. COVID can't get in by the gate. What's your name? COVID-19. You have an invite. You have a thing. You can't come in. Can't come in. Everybody here in Bella making noise in the back. And as long as we continue to pretend that this is normal, things will get worse. And as long as you believe that this bullshit from this jackass farm, this donkey farm, PNM, as long as you think that at some point they could get worse enough, not bad enough, you know, worse enough. Clarence Rambarat, the Minister of Agriculture, said to Trinidad and Tobago in 2004, in 2014, he said the next general election will be to decide who less worse. And Clarence decided that the PNM less worse. Integrity, no sir. You can't say something shit and then you're trying to sell it as sugar. My partner Tony Defoe last week say UNC criminals, crooks, 58 years, 92 government, all this shit, they rob we, they do we all kind of thing. And he inside of there saying, boy, I always knew, you know. Which tongue is your real tongue, partner? You have 2 tongues in your mouth. Which one real? And Akila, your little girlfriend, like a real Charlotte Street Laja Bless. What she? 19 fake profile, terrorizing Pep. because they get their money. They get their money. So for the right money, you could tell people anything, boy. But you could kill people. A liar is a thief is a murderer. You could kill people for the right money. She outside there, she literally throw away she child. She find a man and she latch on to him like a latch bless. I'm going down with this one, wrench the red man out of the people party. But no problem, you're going in the right place. You think you know, use and abuse and kick out? Well, UNC going and teach all your lesson. Well, you're coming out of there with passes. You know what I tell you? What did I miss? Derek Rodriguez, open your eyes and your ears, you'll miss nothing. Nothing will pass you. The reality of Trinidad and Tobago is we are where we are right now because of us. Keith Rowley is a shit snake, Kamala is a whatever. And they say junkie monkey, but people say, Phillip, you can't say that, she's a woman. If it's a man, it's okay. That's not sexist though. We'll pretend. But whatever. She's a failure. Her 5 years in government, they want to tell you she better run about, she lengthen the road, she give it 2 street lights and something in the park. Look, the park, they can kick ball in there. But $300 billion spent, and we can't count for it. Can't count for it. And live sports and Anil Roberts was never resolved. And Section 34 and Herbert Volney was never resolved. It was never resolved. And until it resolved, Kamala, kiss my half-red ass. You with your stunt artist, Anil Roberts of Room 201, Live Sport, and I want to know which one of all you or Lurbs really holding down Renata Teixeira child at night. Because Lurbs put out a video after your wedding. And Brent and Renata Teixeira, you should have some decency. Because of all the people around you that you're supposed to be bad talking, Phillip and Alexander is the least of your problems. Wendell and Eversley, I saved the best for last, brother. You and a fella called Saran, some shit in the COP. They used to treat all you like 2 skunk. Everybody you touch fail. Everything you touch lose. Look now, man, the Jericho Project was the biggest, most successful charity organization in this country's history. We reached to sending food to Somalia. I let that jackass, ever watch that frog-faced toad? Wendell Eversley, I let because he's climbing up on anything. I was in the Red House. I was there. I was this. I was that. I know Prakash. I know Winston. I know that. Went and climbed up Michael Kerr, Mikey K, ground report ass on the morning while Jerry Hadid was the communication minister looking for money to fall on him. That told Wendell Eversley, calling my name, brother, all you need to know better and do better. People just tell me, Phillip, ignore them. But why can I ignore them when they're getting paid to attack me? $100 million for the parliament, opposition and government. And these same jackasses, Raghu put up a video about me, call my son name and his mother and get thrown the house he was living in. Go and sell banana and play mechanic again. Fool them, call them and read the card. Throw tea in a cup and say, I see in your future. Come, let me read it for you. Anytime any of you all think that you will get any version of Phillip Edward Alexander other than straight talk, look again. It's not changing. You could detonate who you want. You could take who you want. You could bribe who you want. I'm taking people on face value. When I met Suzette, when I met Dilworth, when I met Tony, I took them on face value. They knew what they were coming in. This is a party set up to fight the contract mafia, the drug traffickers, the narco barons. This come to fix how banking is done in the country. Any politician ever tell you that? Ask Kamala about water. UNC can't tell you about water. We're failing at water for 58 years, but every time UNC in office is a next billion. Look at the Salco. Look at wastewater treatment plant. What's the next one coming? Ganga. What's the next plan? Padna. What do they have for them? Washing the rainwater into the sea. We are an idiotic country. We take the bounty of rainwater, fresh water, wash it into the sea, and then pull it back in and desalinate it. Jackasses in government. Fools in control. And all of you who's sitting down still, waiting to vote for them kind of jackasses is exactly why this country... Hey! There we go! Rajesh Rajesh, Danraj asks, name your candidates as soon as the circus leave town. As soon as we hear all 41, Kamla and Keith put out, because we don't want to be in the circus. We was ready to launch on the 21st of March. I have all my cards and I'm playing with them close to my chest. So wait, hold tight, coming soon. Roy Rampi asked, why was Patrick Aboud post taken down? Because Patrick Aboud messaged me on Facebook. He apologized. He said that he apologized when he took down the post, and the post that I got was a post that was late. I want to show you Patrick Aboud's comment, Michael Aboud. Okay? He apologized and pulled out his own post. So if I share a late post that was already retracted and apologized for, I have no purpose to put salt in nobody's food for no reason. Man make a mistake and he expressed his mistake, I remove it. What do I do? Kick him in the head because he named Aboud? I just kick enough people, partner. When people deserve a blight, give them the blight. Your country in a hole, everything out of control. Rajesh, your drunken prime minister singing the night she win a local government election. You're forgetting she. You want to talk about me? When she stand up talking about Mr. Bissessa pipe with Rowley talking about she cat, you forget about that. I talking straight about issues that affect the quality of your life, but your little sycophantic troll, you find yourself on this wall to come and play again people licks. Haul your tail from here. What is? Check it out. 9 o'clock in the morning. 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 9 o'clock on the dot. And no food in the pot. Why? There's a flood. 9 o'clock in the day. You can't see your way. Organized crime. It's organized crime. Everywhere you turn. Crime and more crime. White collar crime. Blue collar crime. Hanraj, Danraj, whoever your name is, listen to the words of this song. Argue with this. No color crime. We're running out of time. Your salary cut. 9 o'clock in the day. No way to get paid. Traffic on the highway. Traffic on the highway. Bills and more bills. Bills and more bills. $3 trillion spent, nothing to show. That's how it go in a land named Trindigo. Nothing. Public health fail, public works fail, local government fail, central government fail. Nothing. 57 years, tears. 57 years, praise. No bread in the kitchen, no gas in the car, no water in the pipe. Everybody by the bar, all in the pavement, all in your shoes, all in your wallet. There's only holes for you.
Everything out of control. Gunman and she hold it like that.
Tell them. Valmiki Ramsawak, you just arrived. We said earlier we have our candidates and we're waiting till the PNM and UNC circus finish announced.
Your vote will decide our destiny. Your vote will decide what you want to be. Your vote can protect our country's fate. But use it well before it's too late. If it is that who you're voting, very on a doubt. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is they prove it to be only full amount. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the time is now that change should come about. Just as how you vote them in, vote them out. Register and vote them out. If they don't see, vote them out. State your finger and vote them out. Show them no mercy, vote them out. Vote them out with total skull and utter disdain. Let's put our country together again. Put them out of power to be deterrent. Let's put our country together again.
I promise this guy will give him some airplay. He put out a nice little song for PAP. Give him some love. I will share the link on the thread.
The solution is Orange Revolution, yeah! Well, my name is Stephen Westside Rock. Phillip, Edward, Alexander, big up. You're the only ones that put an end to all this cloth stuff. Because it's too much games, too much messing with we brains. It's time for we to break all the chains. Too much pains, too much money down the drains. Sweet TNT, it's time for your change. Because too much games, too much messing with we brains. It's time for we to break all the chains. Too much pains, too much money down the drains. TNT, it's time for your change. Cause so many suffer, so much die. So many times we turn a blind eye. So much ball, so much cry, so much we catch, we tail to get by. So much a time we give them a blind. It's time we give someone new a try. Because too much have suffered, too much have died. Too much a time we let this crap slide. Sweet TNT needs to be free. If you love your country, vote BEP. Sweet TNT needs to be free. If you love your country, hey, vote BEP. Yeah.
That's it. That's all of it. It's not enough to come out here and talk. It's not enough to come and be Gabe or Sooner having a set of live videos and he can't tell you what you're doing if you agree with him. Alright, I agree with you. What next? What's the next step? It's not enough. More than words. You have to be able to give people something to go to. That's why we call the show More Than Words tonight. Susan Lower need to tell you who she voting for. It have to be more than words. You have to actually give the people an option. The Progressive Empowerment Party works at this 24/7. We've done this for the past almost 4 years. Look at Kirkway, 20 years now. He writing, marching, walking, talking, singing, swinging. 1 month before election, he pelt out the party. Why? Because this work not easy. Go and ask Dilworth and Amjad Khan. They formed 6 parties since Dilworth leave PEP and all boss. Go and ask Peter George Jr. and the Goville and them with their war chest and money and Smarch or Smirch or Smith or whatever asked they was going to call the party. They announced 3 times a launch and they never even get the panya. They said they was going to launch in. This work not easy. We built a big party. This real. Stop taking chain up, stop taking talk, and ask Anthony before last week when he was busting up UNC. Were you lying then or are you lying now? And is this an overnight conversion on the road to Damascus? 7 days to make you decide that 4 years or 2 years of PEP, you was here for about 2 years. 2 years of PEP, you was all for them every single minute of the day until what changed? Because you followed the Phillip in UNC. That's not enough. That's not enough, brother. You must be a man of integrity. You must be a man of unimpeachable ethics, unmovable. You say vote policy. Which policy? You tell everybody PNM and UNC policy destroy the country. You're going back for that? Or are you going to sit idly by, my friend, Anthony the Fool, and watch UNC plagiarize? Because I'm waiting for Kamala, you know. I'm waiting for Kamala. I'm coming with this. I have all your manifestos. And if one of our policies make it into your 2020 manifesto, you're a liar. I will sponsor your punching for the next 5 years. Step down and walk away. You don't have an original thought in your head. And sending Brandstone to come and leeches? Come on, man. You should at least be better than that. Or you're so desperate, or you're trying to pilfer people from the Progressive Empowerment Party. That alone is an admission of defeat. The Progressive Empowerment Party stands for all people. We stand for everybody. We have decided to make ourselves available, a real option, to give you something to vote for. 41 seats, not 39 like the UNC. 41 seats. Big people party. And if, like Janice or any of the other members, you're afraid victimization, you don't have to wear it bold like me and drink in pep cup. And when you're going out, you want your pep mask, bold with the thing. Just wait till election day. Go in that polling station and get that ink all up by your elbow. Make sure that when you finish vote, EBC can't miss it. Rowley, friend, Maxi Coffee, cousin, daughter, sister, friend, wherever she is, can't miss your intention was to vote PEP. We have a big national meeting coming up soon. As soon as we ready. Rowley, we ready. We ready. And we don't need bag of money men to do it. We don't need converts. All of the people who come to the Progressive Empowerment Party are good and decent people that want a better Trinidad and Tobago. Our intention is to serve you, not to love you. Not Shaunos Shepherd or whatever his name is. I see Shaunos Shepherd talking about me on Facebook. I don't know Shaunos Shepherd. If Shaunos Shepherd read somebody write some shit about me on Facebook, have the balls, friend. 682-2110. Call me, WhatsApp me, message me on Facebook. I could see you. You could see me. If anything that is bullshit artists putting out there to dirty my name, you think it might be real, call me. I am the most accessible politician in this country. When they let me on the radio station and the TV station, I tell them, open the phone lines. I tell Mama Coco last night, bring your messages. And Akila, which is 6 fake profile, Ayana Kelly and Maya Erin and all kind of shit, like the heifer Sheldon Harris. Ma'am, if you're going to make a fake profile, stop trying to make it look like black people. Now, no black person come in and fight me for calling out the wrongdoers in the Syrian community. Call yourself a Syrian name, even if it have to be a fake name. Anyway, I want to tell you something. I want to tell you this. And don't ever forget that I said this. You don't even know that you in a war in this country. And the war is for your money and your labor and your vote. And they will do anything for it to keep you stranded. You don't even know how isolated from the truth and reality you are. The Progressive Empowerment Party is the only political vehicle that has made its mandate to inform, educate, and empower. Barack Obama was a good guy. Bill Clinton, there are people who like Trump. I mean, they have plenty of people who like Trump. There are plenty of people who like George Bush. I am me. I plan to only be me. I said to Trinidad and Tobago, 53 years old, one term, only one term. I'm not giving more than that. I want to enjoy some of my remaining life. And I'm not like Pandey and Rowley and the rest of them that have nothing good going on in the world. So all I have to do is fight up with this bullshit. I here to offer a rescue. This is my first, second, or third love. But anyway, I have a meeting to attend right now. So, if you want to assist, message me. If you want to volunteer, message me. If you want more information, peptt.com. If you want to write us an email, peptrinbago@gmail.com. On my list, you will see people like Debbie Jaikaran, Kezia Rampal, Zeda Mohammed. You can message them. They assist all of us. Keisha, Simon Chi, all of these people, they work together to help make sure that us in the leadership gets the job done. If you want a better country, vote PEP. Until tomorrow, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.